Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are standing in Pandemonium. Have cleared the first two of the raids, and now we want to continue. Themis, how do we go on? While our success in sealing away the hippocampus is certainly heartening, the fact that we have yet to see any other warders concerns me. The keyword of Asphodelos is nothing if not cautious. Doubtless he has gathered what warders he could and retreated to a safe area. Let us hope so. It occurs to me that I know little of the keywords besides my magical prowess. Is there aught more you can share? Of course. A man named Hesperos is in charge of Asphodelos. Not only does he have thorough knowledge of the creatures here, but he takes great pains to be a mentor to each of the warders under his charge. He has done much to ensure that I flourished here in spite of my ineptitude at magic, and I've always known him to be the sort of man who faces difficult decisions with unwavering composure. Furthermore, keywords are not only masters of interment, but they can also bend the hallways of Pandemonium to their will with creation magics. With all this in mind, I'm certain that so long as Hesperos guides them, the other warders are safe. I can see that absolute control over the environs is imperative. Had we faced the hippocampus upon arid sand instead of the waterways, I suspect the battle would have ended much more quickly. In any case, if this Hesperos is as capable and caring as you say, we would do well to seek him out as soon as we can. He is like as not taking your colleagues to a secure location. The safest place would be in the innermost circle of Asphodelos. From there they could flee to Abyssos if hard-pressed. Even should they have sought safe haven within the other circles, if we make for a fourth, we ought to encounter them on the way. Indeed, and we shall gain a comprehensive understanding of the situation within Asphodelos, which will be essential in determining whether we ought to continue down to Abyssos. The rub, of course, is that I myself possess no power to bend the circles to my will. Instead, we must proceed through the central corridor, which was barred by the Phoinix last I checked. The Phoinix. The Phoinix. I have heard the name before. A fiery bird with eternal life. Beyond unquenchable brilliance, the perfected concept boasts nigh boundless restorative power, if I recall. Truly an exemplary feat of creation magics. Perfection is ever built on the back of failure, however, and La Habrea suffered countless missteps doing his experiments. And he was hardly the only one. This Phoinix will be but one of many attempts at the concept gone awry. Aye. Far from evoking wonder, our Phoinix is a creature of fury and wrath, and seeks only to turn the world to ash. Thus it was confined within Pandemonium. Development of a concept continued elsewhere, but as the moons turned, more and more researchers abandoned the project as an impossibility, save for La Habrea and his words. When I received word that at long last La Habrea had succeeded where so many others had failed, I was nearly overcome. Pray tell, how did the Wardens of Pandemonium celebrate their master's accomplishment? I don't believe that we did. The research of the words of La Habrea has little consequence to our work here, save for those rare times it challenges us with a new specimen. Truth be told, I don't remember anyone making note of the occasion. But enough reminiscing. We must make ready to confront the Phoinix. While it's possible that it flew off to some other wing of Pandemonium, we would make the assumption at our own peril. Better to assume that we'll need to bring Asphodelos' most unruly subject to heel. I certainly see no reason to delay. The Phoinix's power over flame will avail it far less in a barren corridor than elsewhere, so it may well serve us to subdue it sooner rather than later. Let's do this! A ladder? There it is. What? Retreat! It seems whoever's behind this can alter the space around us at will. We face an uphill battle. Impossible. If those are creation magic at work, then that means... Let us confront that reality after we have conquered the enemy in front of us. Every drop of our focus shall be required if we are to interrupt the Phoinix. Asphodelos, the third circle. We shall gain naught by allowing the larger implications of this to distract us from the fight ahead. The Phoinix's rage will be unbridled, but I trust you are prepared for the worst. Fight well, friend. Asphodelos, the third circle. The Phoinix. There were markers or something. Yeah, that was a circular AoE. Depending on the flames he sends up into the sky. That was a marker. Of condemnation. Okay. Bring the AoEs to the dark fires. Right wing. swarm sweeps through, pouring into burning rain. Wing. Flames. All right. It's a lot easier when everyone but me is overgeared. With that, the Phoinix is shackled once more. However, there's yet the matter of his arena. As you told us, there is but one person as Asphodelos with the ability and authority to wield such magics. Though fortunately it appears he has saved us the trouble of finding him. A contemptible display, as befits an inferior specimen. Even so, I expect it would at least delay your advance. Imagine my surprise when I saw the chains of internment drag the Phoinix back to its cage. Either the bird is even more of a failure than its creators care to admit, or you are no mean trespassers. I had hoped our suspicions were misplaced, but alas. Keyword Hesperos, why? Why have you brought such chaos to your beloved Pandemonium? Pandemonium. Pitiless, impenetrable, and utterly steadfast. Unlike those charged with its keeping. What has possessed you? I don't understand! Erichtonios. Must you pester me with inane questions? Think for yourselves. Surely you can muster a theory or two with that dim wit of yours. Then again, you have never been one for insight. Why Master La Habrea suffers your mediocrity, I shall never understand. You may look like him, but you're not the Hesperos I know. Something has warped you too from the inside out. The keyword I knew had compassion for all those under his charge, be they clad in ropes or shackled in chains. Was that all a farce? Did you hide your contempt for us all these years? Those who are content to merely glimpse at water's surface are doomed to be dragged into the depths. You prove my opinion of you with every word. My mind is clearer than it has ever been. Even now, seeing you feebly grasp for answers makes a bile rise in my throat. Such wasted potential. To be the son of Master La Habrea, yet no more skilled with magic than a newborn babe. Son? But of course, it's always about La Habrea. Silence! You're not worthy to utter his name. For once, be grateful to witness a feat beyond your meager abilities, beyond your shallow reckoning. I've slipped the surly bounds of mortality. I've become one with our mythic creations and rid myself of imperfections. I stand upon the threshold of godhood. As a Hemitheos, shall I serve Master La Habrea, ever faithful until the end of days. And he shall require no more. I faint not. Are you so blinded by arrogance that you have lost sight of what it means to serve? Erichtonios is more capable than you could ever know. It was thanks to his instruction I was able to master the art of interment, both how to wield it and how to break free of it. Desiree, let us quit this place. Whatever poison has corrupted Hesperos' mind, it's plain his power far eclipses ours. We must have time to gather our strength. Flashbang! Weaklings though they may be, it takes a singular aptitude to master internment so quickly. To say nothing of how swiftly that familiar laid low the Phoinix. Regardless, their noble aims will be their undoing. May they fritter away their strength in calming the beast of Asphodelos, I continue my work. Even should they survive long enough to reach the heart of my domain, naught shall await them but doom. I eagerly await your arrival, Erichtonios. Even dullards have their uses. Please leave me be. My darkest suspicions have been realized. We face the keyword of Asphodelos himself. More than that revelation, however, Erichtonios worries me. He loved Hesperos for his compassion, but received naught but scorn from whatever the keyword has become. He has said little since our return. I only hope that the shock of recent events does not prove to be a death knell for his resolve. Who wants the waters? Much as I am loath to disrupt Erichtonios so soon after what just occurred, I'm afraid circumstances do not afford us the luxury of time. Perhaps it will do him well to speak about recent events, concerning both a keyword and his father. The creation of a world which surrounds Pandemonium was an astounding feat of magical prowess. A feat accomplished by none other than La Habrea. That both my father and I can bind others in chains is perhaps the only thing we have in common. Ah, so it's true. I'm La Habrea's son, bereft of his talent for magic or his brilliant mind, but his son nonetheless. Surely it doesn't come entirely as a surprise to you? Nay, I had an inkling when you said you had practiced ethereal shackles since childhood. Assuming you hadn't been employed here quite that long, it had to indicate some long-held connection with La Habrea. It was La Habrea that taught me how to cast ethereal shackles, but that was it. My further education was overseen by the wards of La Habrea. More specifically, my mother was a researcher here. You did speak of Athena, chief keyword before La Habrea. She's your mother then? How astute. I can see now why you were chosen to lead this investigation. You have a right of it. Athena was my mother. It was she who invited me to join her here. La Habrea had nothing to do with it. I see there's little love lost between you two. What I cannot see is why La Habrea was appointed chief keyword when another was already in place. Was in place. My mother is no longer with us. And La Habrea was all too eager to assume her responsibilities, with nary a moment spared to mourn her. What love do I owe him now, when he offered not one drop of compassion then? See. She's no longer with us. An expression to convey the end of life. I have known only the public face of La Habrea, while he is lauded for his ability to maintain composure in the face of unnerving circumstances. I must admit that he often comes across as cold. Apologies, but can we speak of something else? This topic isn't an easy one for me to discuss. Of course, there are more pressing matters at hand, after all. Namely, how to deal with Hesperos. We've yet to see the other warders. Judging by what we know, we can surmise that Hesperos has confined them somewhere beyond our grasp. And now that he's aware of our presence, he will be preparing for our next encounter. We cannot expect to face him on equal footing. Quite the opposite, in fact. Every moment we spend chasing after our creations is another moment Hesperos can contrive another advantage for himself. The wisest course would be to find him first and foremost. You said that he has become one of the creations. Perhaps that means he is vulnerable to interment? In theory, that should be possible. However, is it enough merely to confine him? After all he's done? I need to know why. I need to know what drove him to forsake everything he's worked for. Was it all truly so that he could serve his master? To my mind, he's merely put La Habrea's own work at risk in trade for some nebulous power. La Habrea is the chief keyword of Pandemonium. How would throwing it into disarray win his favor? It doesn't make any sense. I share your curiosity, but we must consider that our enemy has us at a disadvantage in every sense. What do you think? Should we seek to put him in fetters, or would it be too dangerous to allow him quarter? If you fail, I can always strike him down. Daring as ever, I see. I don't know which trial you have faced in your past, but to see you so certain is all the convincing I need. Very well, let us try Erichtonios' plan. Thank you, Desiree. I believe I can shed some light on the nature of our foe. When Hesperos spoke with us, I noticed he bore the telltale fangs of a Rhycolacus, a beast which feeds on the aether of its prey. Likely that is the creation Hesperos merged his essence with. And we know all too well that he can change the environment around himself at will. The battle will not be an easy one, but I believe in our victory.